Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you. I was a little late. We have some special guests here in our temple. Devotees from Bangalore and Hyderabad. So, got a little late. Okay. Hare Krishna. Welcome, everybody. So, I think yesterday was His Grace Namash Prabhuji's class. So, today, few sessions I will be taking. Then, after that, I think Suhas Prabhu will continue. Dr. Suhas. He will maybe from 6th to 7th chapter, he will take over. Hare Krishna, Murli Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. So today we are in chapter number 2.
Yes.
Prabhuji, is this visible?
Yes. Clear visible, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. I have the fan running here. I don't know if I create some disturbance with the volume. Should I switch it off, Prabhuji?
It's clear. Your volume is clear.
Yeah. Anything you'd let me know, Prabhuji. Then I will
Yes.
switch off the fan or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe at least I can reduce the volume. Okay. Umagranatimiraandasya gnananjanashalakya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtari. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gauravaktinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So a quick recap of the first chapter. Arjuna citing 5 reasons why he will not fight the war. First of all, Arjuna, on compassionate grounds, he felt just for our selfishness, should we kill so many people? He was feeling compassionate at the loss of life of so many of his soldiers, not only soldiers on the opposite side also. Being a naturally great person, so he's showing his soft-heartedness, his kindness towards other living entities. That is the first reason he cited he will not fight the war. Second reason, he was calculating in terms of his own enjoyment, because we enjoy in life with all our relatives, with all our friends. So without any of them, what will our money, what will our big cars, big bungalows, what it will do? It cannot give us any happiness. We enjoy, we are social living beings, we enjoy in company. So Arjuna is feeling my own relatives, my blood relatives, my own grandfather, my own teacher, my own friends, they're all dead. So what kind of enjoyment I'm going to achieve? So he said there is no enjoyment. Third one, he was calculating in terms of punya papa, sin and pious activity. Arjuna being a personality of Vedic times, everybody practically had this understanding of what is sin, what is pious activity, punya and papa. So Arjuna is saying, having killed so many people, it's a huge sin. So I will not do that. So I'll mute everybody. Yeah. Okay. So then the fourth reason Arjuna said was family traditions, they are destroyed. The family traditions, what we say as by the production of Varna Sankara population. So the people, the coming generation, so they don't value dharma, they don't follow any religious principles. So the whole family traditions, the family Kudumba Sampradayas, what is there, they are all destroyed. So nobody follows, nobody to guide them. So women also being unprotected, they're prone to degradation. So saying these reasons, Arjuna said, I will not fight. So in this second chapter, Arjuna gives one more point. After having given all these reasons, he still feels indecisive. He feels duality in his mind, whether this is right or whether that is right. So this feeling of indecisiveness many times also hinders us in our execution of duties. So Arjuna similarly felt, because there was enough reasoning why he had to kill these people, this Duryodhana and the party, but still he felt indecisive. So that is also counted as a factor, as a fifth factor, indecision. Yes. So now Arjuna takes a very positive step. He takes shelter of the Lord. That is this shloka, which is called the surrendering shloka of the Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna thus far was always in the mood of friendship. Arjuna is the eternal friend of Krishna. So he's always joking with Krishna, is laughing, is cutting jokes. But here he understands that this sort of a joking talk will not help him. So he understands it's a serious business. It's what he has to do now. So he also understands that Krishna is a personality who is having the answers for everything. So Krishna being the Supreme Lord, Arjuna is aware of that. So he readily surrenders to Krishna. So he says, Karpanya dosho apatasvabhavaha prichami tvam dharma samudacheta yashreyasya nishchitam bruhitan me shishyaste aham shadi mam tvam prapannam. Prapannam means Krishna, kindly give me your shelter. I do not know. So Arjuna actually, in a worldly sense, very, very intelligent person, very, very powerful person, a person of the Vedic time, Dwapara Yuga, with so many divine weaponry. So it is said his help was sought even by the great devatas, the personalities in the higher planets. So they were seeking his help to fight against the Danavas. So he was not only famous around the world, he was famous across the planets, interplanetary, across the universe. So Arjuna was such a great bowman, great archer. They had all divine weapons, not the weapons what we have today. those weapons by which alone they can encounter millions and billions of people. One person, Arjuna, can encounter millions and billions. That was the capacity in those times by the divine weaponry they used to have. So Arjuna, being trained in that skills, not an ordinary person, but still with all those military skills, with all those so many good qualifications he has, still he is feeling, no, I cannot solve the problem on my own. It is not possible for me. So that is why he is showing us the way by taking shelter of Krishna. So each one of us also in our life, we always at every moment seek, we are in duality, we are in confusion, we are not spirited. So many ways we have our difficulties. So what we have to do is follow in the footsteps of Arjuna, and we have to also take shelter of Krishna. Just like Arjuna is taking shelter of Krishna, we also take shelter of Krishna. So just like Krishna personally guided Arjuna, Krishna is similarly able to guide every one of us through his words, this Bhagavad Gita. Actually, it was not for Arjuna, it was for all of us that Bhagavad Gita was spoken. Arjuna was just a dummy, an instrument for the Lord to speak these divine words. So this Bhagavad Gita, if we can take shelter, it can guide us. And through the Bhagavad Gita, we can cross over all the obstacles in our conditioned life. So taking the example of Arjuna, we should also follow in his footsteps. We should take shelter of Krishna or Krishna's representative, the Acharya and the Guru. So who is 100% dedicated to Krishna. So such a personality we have to take shelter of. So and Arjuna is asking, being bewildered, I want you to tell me what is the most beneficial. Shreya, Krishna, not that I want something immediate thing which is beneficial to me. I want to know what is ultimately good for me. So this is similarly the question asked by Parikshit Maharaj when he was cursed to be bitten by a snake, and then 7 days his death was to come. Parikshit Maharaj also, he renounced everything. He went to the bank of the Ganges and he was waiting for the death to come. But what I should do now? He was just trying to understand. Great sages came in, and this was the question he asked. So what is the most important duty of a human being? We're all in the human form of life. So we get this human form of life after passing through 8 million species. So we got this life. So what is the importance? What is the most important duty? Particularly of a person who is going to die. So that was the question Parikshit Maharaj was asking. And finally, Shukamuni walks in, and everybody unanimously agree he's the right person to give the answer. So he also took shelter. Parikshit Maharaj is none other than grandson of Arjuna. And that was the arrangement by which the Lord made the Bhagavatam to be spoken publicly for the first time. Just like here, Krishna has made an arrangement. Arjuna is under dilemma for us to get the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna similarly makes a situation later on wherein Krishna's grandson, Parikshit, Abhimanyu's son, he is also in a dilemma. He's also not exactly in a dilemma. He's preparing himself for death. So that time the Bhagavatam was spoken, the great scripture. So these two scriptures occupy the topmost position among all the Vedic texts. So at least these two texts, if we can study, if we can follow them, our life is a success. Yes. So coming back, so Krishna now starts off taking his position as Guru, as an Acharya, as Guru, as an authority, as a right to correct his disciple, to chastise the disciple. So Krishna also tells Arjuna. So before that, there is who is Krishna. So who is Krishna? So Krishna is a supreme personality of Godhead. So at least when we read the Bhagavad Gita, with that attitude we should read. At least theoretically we should accept and we should go on. Then slowly we try to understand how, yes, Krishna is a supreme personality. Because without that authority, that submissiveness, it's very difficult to understand Bhagavad Gita. It's a great mystery, the science of Bhagavad Gita. So here it is shown by the philosophers in terms of spiritual realization. First of all, the realization comes about I am not the body, I am soul, I am Brahman, I am Brahmasmi. Then the further realization comes of the absolute truth, the realization of the Paramatma, the one more feature of the Lord alongside Jivatma in everybody's heart. Then the final understanding comes the Lord as Purna Purushottam Bhagavan, is the personality with 6 unlimited opulences. 6 opulences to an unlimited degree. So, Vadanti tat tatvat vida tattvam yajgranam advayam brahmeti paramatmeti bhagavaniti shabdyati. So this is what learned philosophers, transcendentalists say. The absolute truth is realized in 3 phases of understanding. First of all, understanding of Brahman. Brahman means great. There are many meanings of Brahman. So spirit, Atma, is also very great, being part of the supreme great, the Lord. So the first understanding is there is something apart from this material world, this matter. There is some Brahman, there is some spirit. The second understanding is the Lord himself as Parabrahman, as Paramatma, is also all pervasive. The final understanding is where the source of Brahman and Parabrahman, Paramatma, is a Bhagavan and is a person, is a not an ordinary, generally we think it is some impersonal energy. It's Avyakta. Yes, Avyakta is his Brahman feature. But finally, the Lord is a personality. Just like the example is given, when you take the example of a sun, alongside sun, there is a sunshine. Sunshine is very impersonal. It is all pervasive. There is no particular form, particular anything, attributes. So it seems to be everywhere. But still, finally, the sunshine itself comes from sun. So sun is localized. So that way, it is explained how the understanding of the absolute truth, understanding of Paratattvam goes on from Brahman to Parabrahma, Paramatma, finally to Bhagavan. Because even in the sun, we have the gross understanding today, the sun. But Vedic understanding says the sun itself is caused by and it is controlled by a person, the Surya Bhagavan, Surya Narayana. His name is Vivaswan. So there is a personality there. Just like we have this earthly planet, Bhudevi. She is a personality. Finally, she is a Devata. She is the Devi who is controlling this earthly planet. So similarly, every planet has some controller, just like a president, prime minister. For some time, no, these people are the whole planet. They are in charge. So is a person. So finally, absolute truth is also a person. So Krishna is that Shadaishwarya Purna Bhagavan. Bhagavan means a person who is having 6 opulences. That's how in Bhagavad we have this Gita, which is called Bhagavad Gita. There are so many Gitas, Rudra Gita, Uddhava Gita. When you read Bhagavatam also, there are so many Gita. Gita means something, a song being spoken. But why is this, which is spoken by Krishna in the middle of battlefield of Kurukshetra, spoken as Bhagavad Gita? Because it is spoken not by an ordinary person, Krishna. Krishna is actually the supreme personality, Bhagavan. That's why it's called Bhagavad Gita. So from now on, as the Gita progresses, Vedavyasa addresses Krishna as Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So it is in the Gita we read, whenever Duryodhana has spoken, it was so told Duryodhana Uvacha. When Sanjaya spoke, it was said Sanjaya Uvacha, Dhritarashtra Uvacha, Arjuna Uvacha. So whoever is the speaker, it is always prefixed by their name and then Uvacha. Uvacha means said. But when Krishna starts speaking in the Bhagavad Gita, and wherever Krishna has spoken, always Vedavyasa takes care, he makes us note that Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So Krishna is not an ordinary person. Krishna is the original supreme personality of Godhead. So it makes it very clear. So what actually Bhagavan means is also explained by Vedavyasa's father, Parashara, where he says, somebody who possesses 6 opulences. One is Aishwarya, another is Virya, third is Yashas, fourth is Grana, Vairagya, and beauty. So he says, somebody is very rich, somebody is very powerful, somebody is very famous, somebody is very beautiful, very intelligent, and very renounced. So it is said, these 6 qualities Krishna possesses to an unlimited extent. There is no limit to how much Krishna's wealth is, or Krishna's beauty is, or Krishna's knowledge is, Krishna's fame is, Krishna's renunciation. So just like the Lord has created the whole world, whole universe, but it is for us. He is aloof. He is not coming and within our life and saying, you accept me, you follow me. No, the Lord has kept himself aloof. So that is his renouncement. That is his spirit of renunciation. After all, we are his children. So he has left it for us. Whether we want him, we don't want him. He doesn't impose himself on us. So that is his renunciation. So every quality, Krishna's beauty or Krishna's wealth, Krishna's intelligence, everything is unlimited. There is no way we can. Natat sama abhyadikashya drishyate. Nobody can equal, nobody can be greater than God. That is what it means. God is great. We know God is great, but how great is God is when we read this Bhagavad Gita, when we read the Bhagavatam, when we hear the great Acharyas, we come to know how great they are, how unlimited the Lord is. So with this introduction of Bhagavan, then when the Lord speaks, so he gives us the first understanding that we are not these bodies, we are the person living within this body. So everyone in this world, we identify ourselves with this body. I am a man, I am a woman, I'm young, I'm old, I'm Indian, I'm American, I'm Hindu, I'm Muslim, I'm belong to this state, that state. So many ways we identify ourselves with this body, and with the bodily identification, we make ourselves as separate and somebody else is separate. So, but Krishna, first of all, breaks this myth, breaks this wrong understanding every one of us have, and tells Arjuna, you are trying to give, trying to show compassion to all these soldiers, but first of all, understand what is real compassion. Because without proper identification, without proper understanding, the compassion a false platform is very, very superficial. Just like an example given, somebody is drowning in the waters. So you go jump into the water and pick out his cloth and say, I have saved a new cloth. What is the use? The real person already is drowned. So, and we are just taking out the dress of the person. Similarly, the body itself for the soul is a dress. So Krishna says, Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhiras tatra namuhyati. So dhira means a sober person, a intelligent person, a knowledgeable person, is one who understands there are two things. There is the deha and there is a dehi. Deha means the body, dehi means the owner or the possessor of the body. So the body is always dead. Sometimes we see a dead body and we see a living body. So everything is same. The chemically we try to test all the chemicals, all the elements, all the compounds, everything is there. So what is it that is missing in this the dead body that we say is dead? So let us burn it, let us bury it, let us get rid of it. What is it? What is it? So this is something dead body minus living body, or living body minus dead body rather, is equal to consciousness. We say consciousness means the concept, the feeling, willing, thinking. So we have this, we always have some perception. Oh, this is very hot thing, and then, oh, let me not oh, very hot, okay, it's very nice for me to eat now because my health, it is good to eat hot food stuff. So we feel and we will, let me eat that hot food stuff. So this thinking, feeling, willing, we go through different aspects for consciousness. So all living beings have this consciousness. As a plant, as an insect, maybe it is high, it is low, but otherwise every living entity has this consciousness. In a dead body, this is no longer there. We cannot ask a dead body, a dead person, how is the taste, how is this, how is that? It's not possible. So this consciousness, it is a symptom of the soul. So everything we have symptoms. Similarly, the soul also has symptoms. Many things, we don't see them, we don't hear them, but by the symptoms we come to know. Just like we say air we cannot see. If you say, show me air, like I want to see air, see, no, nobody can see air. But by its symptoms, by the feeling of warmth, by feeling of coolness, by the aroma it is carrying, we know the air is there. Or similarly, we talk about radio waves. They say it is there because of the symptoms. We have the particular receivers, we immediately get the signals, we know such thing exists. Similarly, the soul at the present moment, because we have our button eyes, these material eyes, we are not able to see. Neither we are able to see soul nor the supreme soul, the Lord. So that is our deficient senses each one of us have. As conditioned souls, we all have 4 defects. One is imperfect senses. We have our eyes, ears, nose, whatever, through which we gather knowledge. We interact with this environment around us. This is limited. This is conditioned in a particular way. So we can only receive information and then process information and see, hear in a limited way. So with this limited things, at this point of time, we cannot see soul. So that is one defect every one of us have in this world. Second defect is said, we are all under illusion. The illusion means we have identified ourselves with this body, which is our just a living place. Just like suppose I live in a particular house for a long time, I feel very attached to the house, and maybe I'm just a tenant in this place. Maybe if I live for 10-15 years, so I will start feeling that this is my own house. Maybe one day it will be mine. So the landlord wants to get me away, I'll not be ready because I've developed attachment to my house. So like that, each one of us have developed attachment to this body. So this is under illusion, we have identified ourselves with this body. That is the second defect each one of us have. Third defect is we are prone to commit mistakes. So we commit so many mistakes. We keep committing mistakes. Sometimes it's like, how this happened? Why this happens? Silly mistakes keeps happening. And fourth one, each one of us have a cheating propensity. It is said conditioned life means I want to exploit you. I want to cheat you for my benefit. So you want to do for somebody. So he wants to do for somebody else. So this goes on chain. So this way, each one of us is cheating each other. So it is said, these are all the four defects each one of us in the conditioned stage have. So one of the defect is here, Krishna is pointing out, each one of us have identified ourselves with this gross body. So Krishna is giving nice analogy to make us understand that even through this lifetime that we live, I had a body of a small baby. I remember as a small baby, some small things I remember as a child. Then I grew to a boy. Then I was going to school. I was forced to go to school. Then I started going to college. Then, so as the days passed by, my body kept, it's actually, we say it's growing, but actually it's not only growth, it's basically change. I have changed myself. My body has changed from a small embryonic body to a within the mother's fetus body in the mother's womb. Then after that, child, infant, so if we actually go in terms of science, if we can actually tag the whole our body by radio, whatever dating different elements of the body, the whole thing has changed. What I had about 50 years back or 40 years back in my mother's womb, I do not have any of that bodily elements now. So who am I? So where is that body that is gone? So Krishna is trying to say that body is already dead. What I got from my mother in the mother's womb, that body is no longer present. Then what came out later as a baby is no longer present. So it is continuously undergoing change, and these bodies are already dead. My childhood body is dead. My youthhood body is dead. Now I have some middle-aged on the threshold of old age. So these bodies I'm continuously changing. So Krishna with this example says, even through this lifetime, I have survived various changes of the bodies, various death of bodies. So that means the soul has no death. So Krishna actually wants to make us understand this point, that in spite of so many changes of the body, in spite of deaths of so many different bodies I had, I continue to live means I will continue to live even after my so-called end of the old body or whatever. Wherever, when people will no longer see me the way I am here. So Krishna is giving this important understanding that we are all eternal living entities. We have no birth, we have no death. So Krishna is saying, if somebody can understand this factually, he is a sober person, he is an intelligent person. Dhiras tatra namuhyati. So there are a lot of verses, from about 15 to 20 verses, wherein very nicely the Lord tries to explain to us, make us convinced that we are not the body, we are the owners, or rather possessors of the body. We are living within this body. We are different from the body. Yes. Krishna also gives an understanding that just like a dress we change. Today I wear this saffron dress. Maybe tomorrow I wear another dress. So that doesn't make me a different person. I'm still the same person. The dress is a dress. Similarly, Krishna gives the body itself is a dress for the soul. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grihnati naroparani tata sharirani. So Krishna says, navani grihnati tata sharirani. So Krishna says, body is just like we are changing our dresses, the soul is changing the dresses of the different bodies. So now I have a human body. Next, I may have a body of a cat, I may have a body of a dog, I may have a body of a human being or a devata. So the Vedic scriptures explain to us, there are totally 8,400,000 species, 84 lakh species. So science also talks about species. Their understanding is in terms of the morphological features or whatever, but the Vedic understanding is in terms of the development of consciousness, how developed it is from a low grade consciousness, wherein as insects, as plants, hardly conscious. The plants are almost like a drowsy state. In a deep sleep, we hardly know ourselves. So plants are like that. So that's how they don't feel much pain. They do feel pain. Jagadish Chandra Bose, the scientist, proved that, but that is very, very minimal rather. So just like in sleep, somebody does so many things we hardly come to know. They are hitting our body, they're slapping us. We hardly come to know. But when we are awake, even little small thing, small pain, we reciprocate. So this bodies wherein the consciousness is very, very low to a very high consciousness, the consciousness of the devatas, the higher living entities. There are totally 84 lakhs. So depending on our activities, our desires, we get different bodies. So it is so many species, and we don't have one way, we don't have a choice that what I will get next body, but we are going to get. So this cycle will go on, this birth and death, this cycle will go on. So long we come to understand our real original position, that I am spirit soul, I am Jivatma, I am different from this body, and I am a eternal servant of Krishna. So not only understanding that I am not the body, but for actually understanding as spirit soul, I am part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit, Krishna. So Krishna, Nityo Nityanam, Chetana Chetananam, Ekoyo Bahunam Vidadati Kama. So the first level understanding is I am not the body. Further understanding is not only I am spirit soul, and I am a part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit soul, Krishna. And being a part, my natural duty is to serve the Supreme. So that's why Vedic scriptures say there are Nityo Nityanam. There are so many living entities. Nitya means they are eternal living entities. But of them, one is chief. Nityanam. Nityo Nityanam. Chetana Chetananam. And what is the property? What is our quality? We are all conscious. We are all living entities. We all have symptoms of life. We have thinking, we have feeling, we have willing, we have desire, so many things. But Krishna, that Supreme Nitya, is Chetananam, is supreme conscious. I only know about my activities today. Today I was preoccupied. So many guests, wonderful devotees came. So preoccupied with them. I'm not all conscious of so many other things. Okay, I have a class 9 o'clock. I'm late. I'm not conscious. So things have gone out of my control. But Krishna, Supreme Lord, is supremely conscious of everything, of every person, all time, all places. So that is one Supreme Personality who is doing that. And how he is doing that? Because he is situated in everybody's heart as Paramatma. As Jivatma, we all are situated in the region of the heart. We say, I am. We don't say me. We always say me. We point ourselves towards the chest, towards the heart region. So that is where the Atma is situated. Scriptures explain. But along with the Atma, there is the Paramatma, who is nothing other than the expansion of the Supreme Lord. So that's why it is called Swa Amsha and Vibhinna Amsha. Amsha means part. Krishna is Purna. So we are all Krishna's Amsha, but we are Vibhinna Amsha. Vibhinna Amsha means separated part. And Krishna's own Amsha, that is called Swa Amsha, is the Paramatma situated along with us. Vedas also try to explain to us, taking the analogy of two birds sitting on a tree. The Upanishads give that example, very nice example. They say, Dva Suparna Sayuja Sakhaya. They say the two things are there. Just like suppose in a tree, there are two birds sitting and two birds of friends. So one bird, it is said, is always trying to eat some kind of fruit. Sometimes the fruit is very, very tasty. That times the bird is very, very happy. Oh, sometimes the fruit is not so sweet. It is sour. So the bird feels unhappiness. So that is our condition in this material world. Each one of us are sometimes happy, sometimes sad, sometimes successful, sometimes unsuccessful, sometimes so many things. So it always duality. So that is we, the living entity, Atma. But it is said the another bird in the tree is not eating any fruit. It doesn't require anything. It is self-satisfied. It is full, and is just accompanied the other bird to have a watch. To have watch is what he's doing. Just like parents have a watch on the children, always they don't leave the small children alone. So every time they keep checking what they are doing, how they are behaving. So like that, the Supreme Lord, the Supreme Father, has expanded himself as Paramatma and sitting with us in our body as Paramatma. So it is the Lord's power. So it is not difficult for him. So he has come along with me, along with you, along with every one of us as Paramatma, and is watching us. It is said as Paramatma feature of the Lord doesn't even blink his eyes. We need in the material world, the eyes has to be blinked. It's a material phenomenon so that it gets lubricated. We can see, otherwise the eyes will go dry and so many diseases will come. But for Paramatma, his body is spiritual. He doesn't have to blink his eyes. So he is seated in the heart with us as Paramatma, and is watching us constantly. So there are so much further explanations given the 13th chapter, 14th chapter of the Paramatma, 15th chapter, that we'll see as the Gita progresses. But for the present, let us understand that we are Atma, spirit, soul, present within this body. And alongside me in this body is present the Lord himself, the Supreme Lord Krishna, as Paramatma. That is his personal expansion. That's how he knows everything. We say he knows everything, past, present, future, of everything, everybody, because he is present in my heart, in your heart, in the heart of Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, every living entity, and insect, Krishna is present as Paramatma. Andantarastha Paramanu Chayantarastham. It is said, not only with every living entity, he is also present in every atom. So we say atom, electrons, neutrons, protons, but actually, finally, the basis for even that is Paramatma. Because Paramatma is there, everything exists. He is the final source. But we cannot see him today. With our material vision, we cannot see him. With our whatever ultrasound, ultra microscope, electron microscope, we cannot see. So there is a way to see him. So that is also stated. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santaha sadaivardayoeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindam adi purusham tamam bhajan. Persons who are self-realized, persons who are so pure, highly elevated personalities, they can actually see the Paramatma every moment, every second of their life. We are trying to say whether God is there, who is God, how is he, where is he? But for a self-realized person, for a liberated personality, he is visible every second, every moment. That was how somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, our Acharya, great Acharya, founder Acharya, in one of his talks in the Western world. Some student got up in the end of the lecture, perhaps, and he said, Swamiji, have you seen God? So Prabhupada, the Acharya, great Acharya, he said, it's an irrelevant question. So he did not answer him directly. He said, it's an irrelevant question. So then the person kept pestering Srila Prabhupada. Then after some time, Prabhupada said, will you believe me if I, whatever I say? So the person, whoever the student was in that university, so he said, yes, Swamiji, I believe, I take your word. I believe whatever you say. Then Acharya said, revealed, which he generally doesn't do. But he said, yes, I see, I've seen God, and I'm seeing God every moment. So that is the position of a very great Acharya. What is invisible for us is visible every second. So we have to qualify ourselves to come to that position, to that pure position. Then actually, first of all, we should deserve, then we should desire, it is said. So we should deserve ourselves to have a audience of the Lord, to have an understanding, vision of the Lord. Then the Lord may be pleased to reveal himself to us. Yes, so the first understanding Arjuna is being given by Krishna, and through Arjuna to all of us, is that we are spirit soul, we are Jivatma, we are different from the body, and the compassion should be shown to this spirit soul, Atma. So Arjuna doesn't have to bother about so many people being killed. Anyway, we will die. If not today, if not, they don't die within the 18 days of the war, they will die their natural death. Death is inevitable. But what happens is, under the direction of the Lord, if it's a Dharma Yuddha, somebody dies, there is no loss. Because under the vision of the Lord, they are dying. Under the order of the Lord, they are dying. They all will achieve liberation. So that's what happened. After the war, all the people who died in the war, they all were promoted to the spiritual world, which is not so easy, which will take many millions of lifetimes. It just happened by being killed by Arjuna in front of Krishna. So nobody was lost. So Krishna is telling, so you be compassionate on the spiritual ground, not on the material ground. Yes. So next, Krishna is saying, Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, nachainam kledyantyaapo, nashoshayati marutaha. The soul can never be cut into pieces by any weapon, nor can it be burned by fire, nor moistened by water, nor withered by the wind. Yes. So it doesn't mean that we can kill anybody, we can shoot anybody. It doesn't mean. The terrorists, they may say, oh, see, Krishna is, see, your Bhagavad Gita is telling you are in any way not killed. So I'm killing, I'm shooting. No. It should be authorized. So just like it is said, when a soldier, he fights for the country, for the protection of the country, he kills, the government will reward him, Paramveer Chakra. But the same soldier, when he comes back home and he shoots one of his friend and he says, what is this? I killed 1,000 people, you honored me, and now I kill one person, you also give me death penalty. No. On what account we are doing, that is most important. So when we do it, anything on our personal account, we are accountable. But when we do it on the Lord's account, because Lord's account, Lord will neutralize everything, will square everything, and it is for the whole universal benefit. So there is no reaction there. So we have to understand things the proper way. The soul is never killed, but doesn't authorize us that we can kill anybody. We can, no, that is not authorized. Yes. So the second part of this chapter, wherein Arjuna's second reasoning that there is no happiness having killed so many people, my own relatives, my own friends. Krishna is saying, no, Arjuna, if you kill them, you will enjoy the earthly kingdom, because this is the fight for the emperor's throne. The emperor for the whole world used to rule from Hastinapur 5,000 years back. So that was a seat of power around the world. There were so many kings, but they were all subordinate to the emperor at Hastinapur. So Krishna is saying, so having won the supreme ownership, the sovereignty of the planet, so you will definitely enjoy. The king, everybody listens to him, everybody obeys him in so many ways, so many, even materially, they are having facilities. So Krishna is saying, no, there is no loss. And if you die, suppose, because you're dying in a holy war, religious war, you'll be promoted to heavenly planets. So this is also very important. Not that it is it's written in some scriptures, yes, we can fight for the cause. No, it should be authorized by the law. It should be very clear. So Arjuna is wanting this clear authorization. It is not that somebody says, my holy book, it is written like that. Their holy book, it is no. So dharma means dharmam to sakshat bhagavat pranitam. Dharma is what is given by the Lord. Just like we say law means what is given by the state. I and you, we cannot create any laws. Similarly, dharma is actually what is created by God. So many so-called religions, so-called dharmas, people concoct, people invent, and they try to authorize their activities through that. No. So Vedic scriptures are not like that. So Veda Narayana Sakshat. So Vedic scriptures are coming from the time of creation. It's always there. The Lord has given them as manuals for all of us, for all the humankind. It is not, it's Sanatana Dharma, it is not for a particular country, particular group, particular community. It is for all living entities, Sanatana Dharma. So as per that, so Krishna is saying to Arjuna, even if you die because it's a religious war, on my order, you are going to heavenly planets. So that is what happens. Kshatriyas, when they fight in the holy war, similar to the Brahmanas who do so-called so many sacrifices to get promoted to the heavenly planets, the Kshatriyas, the rulers, will get promoted. So Krishna is saying, you die, you will enjoy heavenly opulence. If you live, even on this earth, you will enjoy great sovereignty. So there is no loss for you. But in the other sense, if you say, I'm not going to fight this war, because Arjuna is saying, I'm not going to fight. So what will happen? You'll have to go to forest. You want to accept sannyas, then go to the previous times, they used to go to forest. So you go to forest. That is the only way. There is live by begging. And then your enemies, Karna and Duryodhana, they will scorn your ability. They'll say, what is this? Arjuna is just a great warrior in the peace time. War time is the first person to run away. So they will always keep talking ill about you. And for a person who is honored, dishonor is worse than death. So Krishna says, better you die in the war than you run away like this. Better you die. So like that, Krishna is cornering Arjuna from various angles, even in the angle of responsibilities, duties in our day-to-day life. Because Arjuna is taken the position of a administrator, as a king, as a warrior. He has his duties. He has his swadharma. So Krishna is, first of all, gave the understanding of the soul. Next, even in the terms of the understanding of the body, if you think yourself, you are the body and you are a warrior, you are a statesman, you are an administrator, you have your duties. Better you do your duties, whether you win or you die. So Krishna is giving this understanding. Ato va prapsyasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahim tasmad uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nishchayaha. O son of Kunti, either you will be killed on the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up and fight with determination. So Krishna is encouraging Arjuna, you should fight. This is your duty. This is for a warrior, for a kshatriya, to get such a chance to fight a holy war. It is said, there is nothing glorious than that. So Arjuna, please continue. Avachyavadamscha bahun vadishyanti tavahita nindantas tava samartyam tato dukkatharam nukim. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? So Arjuna's second reasoning, there is no happiness. Krishna defeated that reasoning also. And the third reason Arjuna was talking about was it's a great sin. So how I can do that? I will permanently live in hell. So Krishna is saying, no, because it's a religious war. It is happening on my order. So it's a devotional service. It's bhakti. So bhakti is not that only we do bhakti by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Rama Rama. Definitely for Kali Yuga, this is the most important way we do bhakti, by chanting Krishna's names or by reading Bhagavad Gita, by worshipping Krishna. So as Gita, Krishna tells us, Navavidha Bhakti is there. Similarly, Arjuna is also doing bhakti by fighting for Krishna. This is also bhakti. This is also bhakti. So Krishna is telling, just like Hanuman. So he fought for Lord Ramachandra. And even now we remember him. We seek his blessings. So because he by fighting, he pleased Lord Ramachandra. He pleased Krishna. So Krishna, Arjuna is being told by Krishna. So even a little endeavor on this path, on the path of bhakti, for doing on the account of Krishna, for the sake of Krishna, Krishna says, will save one from the greatest danger. So we are in this material world. We are going life after life from one body to another. There is no guarantee. No guarantee next life I'll be born in India, or I'll be born in the same state, or in some nice family. I have no guarantee. After my death, it is completely, it is like a new chapter. It opens new, this one, 84 lakh of species, from insects, birds, trees, so many are there. So it is said, we get this human form of life, bahud sambhavante, labdva sudurlabhamidam bahu sambhavante. So durlabham manusham janma. Prahlad Maharaj, Bhakta Prahlad says, he says, we got this human form of life, which is very, very, very rare, after many, many millions of lifetimes, after many, many trillions of years. So it is said, somebody who is engaged in devotional service, at least is guaranteed a human birth next life. So that's what Krishna is particularly trying to say here. Even a little endeavor on the spiritual path will save one from a greatest danger. The greatest danger is we may again become an animal in the next life. There is no guarantee, because I cannot say next life I will be again born a human being. There is no guarantee. So the nature's laws are very, very stringent. Karmana daivanetrena jantor deha upapattaye. So by all my karma, by my different, what I deserve, I get the different bodies. So Krishna is here saying, so even a little endeavor on the spiritual path, the path of devotional service, in the path of trying to please Krishna, will save one from a great danger. Great danger. So we all know this story. I think one small rat, it saw something. It was seeing some small light in front of the Lord, the cotton wick that is illuminating during the arti of the Lord, or just the wick we put in front of the Lord. So it mistook it for some fruit. So mistaking it for some fruit, it is said it jumped into that whatever the lamp, but it was hot oil. So in that midst, what happened was, at this jump, the wick little came front, and there was the arti where the wick, which was already dying down, it got ablaze, and it also burned. Because that fire came out, the small rat, it died, it is said. But because it also made it glow in front of the Lord, the deity in the temple, it was taken by the Lord that it has done some seva to light the lamp for me. So even though it died, it is said it was directly taken to spiritual world. So there is one instance being spoken of. So it is similarly, it is said, knowingly, unknowingly, agnata sukruti, many times it said, we do some devotional service to the Lord, it is always a permanent benefit for us. And we have this instance wherein Lord Hanuman, not Lord Hanuman, a great servant of the Lord, when there were Rama Setu was being constructed, he said to one squirrel, why are you obstructing me? So squirrel was also trying to put some stones, small pebbles. So he said, bridge has to be constructed. We need to bring big boulders, and you are putting small pebbles. You come, hut. But then Lord Ramachandra intervened and said, I neither need your service. I've given you an opportunity to serve me. I can do everything independently of myself. So don't obstruct that squirrel in its service to me. So that's how the Lord recognized the service of even the squirrel, Lord Ramachandra. So each one of us, depending on the capacity, somebody may do very great service. That's just like Bhakta Prahlad, Arjuna, Hanuman, they may do very great service. And we may do a very little service, just like a spirit, but doesn't matter. The Lord will accept this service. That is the greatness of the Lord. So he accepts even a little offering that we do to him. So Krishna is here saying, better you do take up this activity. Take up this activity because this is on my order. This is devotional service. There is no loss to you. So any activity we should always check on and then do it for the sake of the Lord, on account of the Lord. So this, not only this shloka, but till 53rd, there is a detailed understanding about how during executing our different duties in our life, we dedicate some portion for the Lord's pleasure. Karmanyeva adhikara te ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala eturbu ma te sangosu akarmani. So we are thinking, I am the owner, I am the enjoyer, I am the proprietor. No, we should understand Krishna is the enjoyer, Krishna is the proprietor, and we should try to serve Krishna, try to please Krishna. And by pleasing Krishna, yasmin tushte jagat tushtam. The whole world is satisfied. The whole universe is satisfied when Krishna is pleased. So that central point we have to understand. So just like in the whole body, we give food to the stomach, all the parts are automatically satisfied. Or in the tree, we put water to the root, everything is satisfied. Similarly, we have to understand what is that center, what is that root. That is Krishna. Yes, so the fourth Arjuna's objection was the family traditions will be lost. Kutumba Sampradayas, they are lost. No. So that's how he, like here we see a small child is being taken care by his father, who is guiding him how to do devotion service, how to dress. So many, the whole culture is being taught by seniors. So Arjuna's question was, what will happen if I kill all these people? Who will take care? So Arjuna Krishna wanted to say, no, when you're doing on my order, I will set right everything. Just like when we take up devotional service, so many duties we may have in this world, but doing this devotional service, we automatically tend to do other duties also nicely. Many times the devotees recount on that. And also the arrangements will be made by the Lord in such a way that everything will be set right. So we don't have to bother. When we actually do devotional service, the whole Vedic recommendation is there to bring us to the point of bhakti, to bring us to devotional service, the various devata pujas, the various yagnas, various rituals. So many things are there in the Vedic scriptures, but all of them are given to bring us to the point of devotional service to the Lord, to the point of surrendering to Krishna. So if we can actually do this, everything will be taken care of. And actually, this was what happened. Even after the war, Yudhishthir Maharaj, under his brilliant rule, Yatha Raja Tata Praja. So by his example, the whole world became like Rama Rajya. It is said what we call as Rama Rajya, what Lord Ramachandra established. Same thing was established by Yudhishthir Maharaj. When the king is like that, automatically he will set right everything. So we don't have to bother about what will happen, family traditions, who will teach, who will follow. No, everything will be taken care of. So in the 45th, 46th verse, particularly it is said, we have to understand what is the actual intent of the Vedic scriptures. Whatever we are doing, the Vedic rituals, so many pujas, so many rituals, what is the final goal? The final goal is to bring us to the point of understanding I am a spirit soul, I am part and parcel of the Supreme Spirit soul, I am intimately related to him as a servant. So how I should again get back to my original position as a servant of the Lord. So this understanding, this is the actual intent of the Vedic scriptures. 46 shloka says, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunya Bhavarjuna Nirdvando Nitya Sattvasto Niryogakshema Atmavan. The Vedas mainly deal with the subject of the three modes of material nature. Rise above these modes, O Arjuna. Be transcendental to all of them. Be free from all dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. So Krishna will explain to us about three modes: Sattva-guna, Rajoguna, Tamoguna. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So it is like three infected states. Each one of us have. The acute infection is Tamoguna. Little lesser is Rajoguna, and little more lesser is Sattva-guna. But all is this like an infection for the living entity. The living entity, by nature, it is pure as the Lord, and in its pure state, in its awakened state, it has nothing else except serving the Lord, be in complete happiness. That is a natural state of the living entity. But under this infection of this material body, about identification with the material body, we have fallen into different modes: the mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So Krishna will explain this. So generally, the Vedic knowledge helps us to elevate ourselves from the lower to the higher modes. the Rajoguna, Tamoguna to Rajoguna, Rajoguna to Satoguna. But finally, it is meant for us to get above the three modes to come back to our original position as a spirit soul, as a part and parcel of Krishna. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you come above that. Don't get lost, get stuck in various prescriptions of the Vedic formulas, just following the rules and regulations. What is the intent behind following those rules and regulations? What is the purpose? So that Krishna says in the 46th verse, Yavan artha udapane sarvata samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya bijanataha. All purposes that are served by a small pond can at once be served by the great reservoirs of water. Similarly, all the purposes of Vedas can be served by one who knows the purpose behind them. So Vedic scriptures, Veda means basically knowledge, any knowledge, which gives us various solutions. So it's finally to make us understand our position, our relationship with the Lord, our relationship with this world, and our relative duty, absolute duty rather, to the Lord. So Krishna gives this example saying, just in previous times, there used to be, for sources of water in a village, typically there used to be many wells. They used to dig many wells, and some wells used to be a common well for drinking water. Some wells used to be common well for washing clothes, and some wells in the villages used to be for cleaning utensils, and somewhere they will take bath. So because well is a stagnant water, they don't want to mix up everything. So they will keep one well for one purpose. And the community, the village people will used to live like that. But suppose there was a river passing across the village, there is no need for so many wells. It is said in one river, everything we can do. We can take the water for drinking. We can bathe, use it for we can bathe there in the water. We can bathe the animals, cows. We can wash our utensils, wash our clothes. So whatever purposes we can take from the water, from the flowing river, we can take. We don't have to dig many wells and keep one per thing separate from it. So similarly, Krishna giving that example says, somebody who knows the intent, who knows the purpose of the Vedas, so he, just by doing devotion service, bhakti to Krishna, he says, at one stroke, everything is done. He doesn't have to do this puja, that homa, that yagna, this tapasya. Nothing is required. Harer nama, Harer nama, Harer nama, eva kevalam, khalau nasteva, nasteva, nasteva gatiranyata. So it is a very, very, actually in the second chapter, Krishna gives everything, what you can say, the whole knowledge, what he has to explain in 18 chapters in one place. That's why it is called the summary of the Bhagavad Gita. But as the Gita progresses, the Lord builds on every topic in more detail as Arjuna asks different questions. So the fourth argument of Arjuna is also nullified. There is a destruction of family traditions. No, rather family traditions are maintained by Yudhishthira Maharaj being installed on the throne. The fifth reason Arjuna was telling, that indecision, in duality, I don't want to do anything. We don't want to do, when we are indecisive, somebody is pushing us, you do this, we feel, what is this? I am not convinced why I should do that. So Krishna is telling, if you raise up yourself to the spiritual platform, understanding your position as spirit soul, as the eternal servant of myself, of Krishna. So Krishna says, your activities will be one-pointed. Vyavasayatmika buddhi ekeha kurunandana baushaka yanantascha buddhayo avyavasayina. Just like this instance where Dronacharya was testing all his disciples. He had put up some wooden bird, a bird image, something he had put on a tree, and he wanted his disciples to shoot that. So he was asking the Duryodhana, Bhimasena, different people. So they all were saying different things. Somebody said, yes, I can see the bird in the tree far off. But when Arjuna was asked, he said, I see the eye of the bird. His focus was so sharp, so pointed. So then Dronacharya said, yes, you shoot. So that way it is said, even in our life, we should understand what is our real duties, what is our relative duties, how much importance to give to different duties. So if we can understand by the mercy of the Lord, our life will be glorious. So Krishna is telling to Arjuna, a selfless person, his attention, his point is one focus. He has no duality, he has no confusion. He has nothing to whether I am doing right, whether I am doing wrong. We are always in this dilemma many times. But for a great advanced transcendentalist, there is never a dilemma. Like Srila Prabhupada, Acharya, his guru told him, you should spread this message around the world. He was just 25 years. So he tried his whole life 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, no success, all frustration, everything reverses, but he continued. And 70 years, it was like a magic. It was like explosion within a short time. Underneath temples, thousands of disciples, so many books, miracle which happened. So a person who is focused, who is self-realized, that is his position. So his activity is like that. Yes. So the final last portion of this chapter, where Arjuna further wants to understand what are the symptoms of such a self-realized person. So Krishna brought Arjuna from the bodily platform to spiritual platform. Arjuna was thinking in terms of the body, my own kinsmen, how I can kill them, my friends, my relatives. So he was thinking in terms of the skin. We are all in the skin disease, identifying ourselves with this body and then having attachment to the family, country, so many things we have, all illusory attachments. So Arjuna was lifted from this. So Arjuna wants to understand further. So he asks Krishna, what are the symptoms? How to identify such a personality? Sita pragnasya ka bhasha. So Arjuna, how does he talk? How does he walk? How does he behave? So Krishna now answers, Prajahati yada kaman sarvan parthamanogatan atmanyevatmana stushtaha sita pragnastadochyate. The blessed Lord said, O Partha, when a man gives up all varieties of sense desire which arise from mental concoction, and when his mind finds satisfaction in the self alone, then he is said to be in pure transcendental consciousness. So Krishna gives the definition that no more material desires. So desires will be there. The symptom of the soul is we desire. But in the conditioned state, we are desiring wrongly. We are desiring in terms of this body, these temporary things. But when we desire for the Krishna, that is real desire. So it's not that we kill the desire. Desires will be there. Prahlad Maharaj, yes, great devotee. So he serves Krishna, the Lord Narasimhadev, Lord Narayana. So he serves. He has the desires to serve the Lord. Not that there is no desire. There is no independent desire. There is no desire to self-satisfaction. So actually, our real selfishness is to serve Krishna. Nate vidu swartagatimi Vishnum. It is said, our real selfishness is we have to serve Krishna. So just like in a mirror, it is said, if you decorate your face, automatically the image is decorated in the mirror. Similarly, actually, we have to please Krishna. Automatically, we are pleased. We are like the image of Krishna. Yeah, all of us, all the living entities. So we try to serve Krishna, we try to please Krishna automatically. So that desire we should cultivate. Otherwise, all other desires, material desires, what we have, it is nothing. It is all mental concoction. Okay, she said, if somebody can see like that, Krishna says, that is the position of Sita Prajna. It's not easy. So many desires we have, so many senses. Senses are always demanding, commanding, or pushing us. It's a pushing machine. Body is a pushing machine. So our position is in a conditioned life very precarious. But to know to the goal, to know the ideal, where we should reach. Prahlad Maharaj, so he was undisturbed with all this, so many people trying to kill him, so to torment him. Srila Prabhupada, the great Acharya, another example of self-realized soul. So he was the same Acharya who was living, before starting this movement, living in Vrindavan in a very humble way, in the Radha Damodar temple, medieval temple. So Acharya was living. Even now those rooms are there. But after he established the movement, thousands of disciples, he was same personality. So they are not changed. They are not. We become affected. We get some big position. We get some money. We get some opulence. Our nature, our activities, everything changes. But a self-realized person is same. For him, there is no change. So in our present state, our position, how we fall down, how we are completely under the control of the laws of material nature. So Krishna is saying, this all starts by contemplation. So we know as a child, as an innocent child, nothing, there is no sex desire. Their life is very nice. But once a particular age comes, the sex desire torments us. That's a primary desire each one of us have. There are so many ways. The typical material desire, which is being spoken here. So how we should try to regulate it and finally try to understand and serve the Lord. Otherwise, it is like material desires. They are like haunting and pushing us more and more down. So Krishna is telling here, Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshu Upajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat krodo bijayate. First of all, a thought. Nothing is there, just some thought. Okay, oh, beautiful girl. So let me see what happens. So as I contemplate for brahmachari particularly. So we contemplate. Sangas teshupajayate. Then attachment comes. Oh, why not embrace? So desires develop. Then the kama, the desire become very strong. So if I don't get the object, then I feel frustration. I feel krodha. Kamat krodo bijayate. Krodat bhavati sammoha. And by the frustration, by the anger, my mind is bewildered. I do not know what is good, what is bad, what is to be done, what is not to be done. Sammoha smriti vibrama. My memory is bewildered. Intelligence is lost. And again, fall down. So, for example, Krishna is giving how the senses we have to regulate. Any sense object. The typical sense object is given here. So, we have to follow the rules and regulations of the scriptures. So, in a regulated way, brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, sannyas, everybody has rules and regulations. So, by following that, we can achieve perfection. Otherwise, these senses are like, they are like serpents. Serpents means anytime it can bite us. Kala indriya sarpa. It is said. You're living amongst the serpents, the poisonous serpent, anytime. The senses are like that. So Krishna also gives a very nice example here. It says, Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. It's not just controlling the senses. Some people say control, tapasya, but just dry control will not do. Unless we get a positive happiness in pleasing the Lord, in serving the Lord, we cannot give up this sense desires. It is not possible. Just like a pendulum, sometimes we go one end and then bhoga, and then we say, I don't want, enough is enough, and tyaga. And then again, after some time, again bhoga, again I want to enjoy, again I want to renounce. So that is how we are going. But if we can get a positive happiness in serving the Lord, it is said, just like great Prahlad Maharaj only, or great acharyas, their position, they are not affected by petty material desires because they are finding great happiness in pleasing the Lord. So if Krishna can grant us that, if he is satisfied with our sincere service, little sincerity in our service, then it is said, we will not fall down to petty material. We will understand the real value of these material desires. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Param drishtva nivartate. So Krishna says, you experience higher taste spiritually, then you can give up the lower taste to this material world. So that is a real way of success. So Krishna's solutions to all different Arjuna's objections in this chapter has come, second chapter. Where it has come, it is being shown. The first objection was in the 11th to 30th verse. Second objection was answered in 31st to 37. Third objection from 33, 38, 53. Yes. So this will be shared, it's the PDF, so you can all later go through. We are at the end of it, I think, the last slide. Okay. So thank you, everybody. I was a little late in starting the class, so from tomorrow I'll try to be on time. Rather come a little earlier, 10 minutes before.